welcome to the Power of One. Today we will focus on your mental and emotional state. The year 2020 has been trying for all of us, and it has been a struggle to get through each day. I will be speaking with Dr. Consir Thot, who is a master level therapist and a doctor of holistic science. The goal today is to try to shed a little hope moving forward into what I hope will be a better year 2021. Welcome to the show, Consir. Consir, tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been bringing awareness to the importance of one's health.
A little bit about myself. First of all, thank you for giving me the honor of being here and speaking with you today. I know the value of the important work that you do, so I'm just very humbled and honored to be a part of your show.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so I would just like to say a little bit about myself. I'm a master's level psychotherapist. I've been certified to practice holistic science since 2009. I started my company in 2011 which is Inside Body Holistic Healthcare. And the primary mission of that company is to end childhood obesity. And as we know, feeding a child requires not just food on the plate, but a full serving of time, love, attention, and mentorship. So that's what my company embodies while providing the awareness of what health really is.
That's awesome. And I like how you put that. A full plate of, and we're not
Oh,
even talking about food, that's just one portion of
right.
it. But I do know the importance of showing children love and time because that's how they equate whether we really care about them. It's not about buying gifts and things and that nature. So that was a very important key. So how do we balance being healthy mentally and emotionally when we're faced with so many stressors during the day?
Yeah. Well, first, we have to keep in mind that we have to be mindful that being healthy isn't something that we do. It's who we are. Because without your health, I mean, you really you can't even be stressed if you're not healthy because you're going to be focused on that current illness. And that's exactly what disease is, dis-ease or uncomfort in the body. So in order to do that, we have to practice all the things that we've been given throughout the years to be healthy, like the little things, drinking water and just keeping our body filled with the proper vitamins and minerals that it need. You know, not just vitamin C, drinking orange juice, but you need the vitamin A, B, C, D, E, calcium, protein, magnesium. You need everything to be healthy. But the important thing is knowing that this isn't just a side thing that we do at our luxury, at our will. This is something we have to mindfully practice every moment of the day.
So what happens when we're faced with those stressful situations? Because that, let's be real, that's what life is. You're faced with stressful situations. How would one overcome daily stressful situations?
Well, it's multiple ways. All right. For one, when I tell my clients all the time, my patients, that when you say I have diabetes, I have gout, you're putting that into the universe. You're making your intention clear that that's what you have. Instead of changing the narrative that we say to ourselves. I'm going to be healthy. I'm in a minor discomfort, but this is what I need to do to get out this discomfort. But if we constantly focus on the stressors that's put in front of us, which is just one aspect of stress, that causes a chain reaction throughout your body. So if your mind or your brain is stressed, it's going to cause your kidneys to be stressed, your pituitary glands are not function at its full capacity. So what we have to do is just keep in mind how we talk to ourselves. If we talk to ourselves with that positivity and not keep repeating back all the negative things that we've heard throughout the day, it starts within.
Okay. A person's life is made up of four layers of energy: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Can one have good health if one of these energies is not strong?
Um, that's like eating cornflakes without the milk. I mean, it can happen, but you're not going to get the full taste of what that cornflake is made to offer you. So
Okay.
when we in poor states of health, with all those different energies going on, when your mind, body, spirit, when you're not connected, you're going to be in a state of imbalance. Well, what happens is we've been so dysfunctional so long and traumatized throughout our whole lives that we don't know what balanced is. We don't know what operating at full optimum capacity really looks like. Stress leads to multiple different things like migraines, shortness of breath. It even causes a lack of response from your immune system. It leaves you open and suspected colds, flus, other different types of viruses. And so that causes that chain reaction. And even diarrhea and constipation are parts of that. So a normal bowel movement is maybe twice a day. Most people might have that twice a week, and that's normal. That's regular to them. They don't know what it feels like to be completely cleansed out for the day. So living in dysfunction is how we've been functioning. So that's part of my raising awareness to get you to experience life as it's supposed to be.
Okay. So let's talk about, you were talking about viruses and things of that nature. So we're faced now with the COVID-19 pandemic. It is stressful for me. And I had to turn off the news for a little while because it was just so stressful. So I'm thinking about my mom, I'm thinking about my dad, thinking about my children, my grandchildren. How can one put that in perspective? Because you want to be educated on what's going on in the world around you, but it becomes so overwhelming and so consuming. How can I prepare myself mentally in a positive way every day? Okay, we're in this COVID-19 pandemic, but how can I make it through every day with a positive mindset?
Okay. I'll say it like this. If you know you're going across town and you have a quarter tank of gas, what you want to do is fill the tank up before you go. That cuts out that stress and that anxiety of not being able to make it. So I relate that to, we follow the CDC guidelines. We wash your hands, social distance, mask, or whatever they change from week to week, month to month. But those are their guidelines. Are we following our body's guidelines? Our body's been the same for hundreds of thousands of years, and they need basic things. Are we following those guidelines? I mean, it's okay to wear a mask, that's fine. But when we come home, are we drinking the proper amounts of water? Are we eating the right seasonal vegetables that our bodies need? A lot of times when we're don't drink the water we're supposed to be drinking, we become dehydrated. Well, wait a minute, it's lunchtime. So we just immediately just start eating food and just neglect the water. So if we know that our tank is full, we're good going across town. We have that self-esteem, we have that confidence, knowing that we're going to make it. That could be other little things that happen, excuse me, in between, but we know our gas tank is full. So that's with our bodies. All this other stuff going around, it's going to be there. It's always been there, just in different strains and different varieties and different rates of transmission. But as long as we know within ourselves that we have the proper amounts of vitamins and nutrients in our body, that boosts our level of confidence and self-esteem.
So how, and for me, because I'm a worrywart, so what can I do mentally to prepare myself for the day? Because the news has already scared me.
Okay. All right. Well, mentally, what you can do, it's called conversations with yourself. You can have conversations, put your intentions out there, what you want to manifest to the day. You want to put manifestations out for family members to keep them safe and free from harm. That's called prayer. All right. Another thing we can do is when we're sitting quietly to ourselves, maybe on a drive to work, turn the radio off. Just take in all the sights that you see around the city or whatever you're your transportation to work is, whatever you see, whatever your surroundings are, listening to relaxing music. That's called meditation. Or you can even get into a movement meditation. You throw on some gospel or some 90s R&B and clean the house. It's called getting into your zone. That's a movement meditation. Once you're into your zone, you're going within. So the outside distractors aren't as stressful as they really are if that's your main focus. When your main focus is you, your temple, your body, and the health and the safety of your family members, all that other stuff is just noise, background noise.
Okay, so that helps.
It may sound easier said than done, but it's a daily.
That is so true, because I'm like, okay, I'm talking to myself like, Melany, and you're like, Melany, this ain't working today. Like, Melany, you can do this. Melany, no, this is not working today. Yeah. So it is harder said than done. That is true. Yeah. So you know that I work with victims and co-homicide victims. That's what I do every day, all day. And when I go to the houses, the moms and dads, sisters and brothers, family members, they're running on autopilot at that time if they've lost a loved one to gun violence or violence. And I say to the family that I need you to look out for each other. So if it's a week and a half, and you're not eating, you're not sleeping, you're not drinking, that's normal because of the traumatic experience. But when it goes beyond that point, I need you to contact me, because at that point we need to do some therapy, and we need to do something, because it's not healthy for you to go on like that. What suggestion would you give to a victim of a crime that has been affected and that's dealing with traumas? And what would you tell the mothers, the fathers, the wife, the husband that has lost their loved one to gun violence, and they're not eating or not drinking or not sleeping? What advice would you give to them?
Yeah. Well, first, I would like to say my condolences to those families, the victims out there. We definitely keep them in mindful prayer that they'll be okay. To answer your question, there's no right or wrong way to grieve. So my only suggestion, advice would be to them is to put things in proper perspective. Make peace with your new state of being. Make peace with being without that relative around. Remove the negative thoughts from your head. Maybe some retaliation, the eye for an eye, or the self-blame, like why did it happen to my family, or why couldn't you take me instead, or why couldn't you take them evil people down the street? Why did it have to be my brother, my uncle, my father? So once you remove those negative thoughts, and just free your mind and make peace with where you are. And then I would say, always say their name, always keep their memory alive, because if you don't mention them, they die twice. And also, your best way to honor their memory, because once you get out of your grieving, once you have your time, your moment, you have to honor their memory. Maybe start a foundation, maybe do something that they would have wanted to do deep down, but never had the time or their energy, their circumstances to really put together and manifest, or something that, that they could have used while they were living to help someone else, because we constantly live in a state of we. That is, we're part of a community. We're part of a community that ourself depends on other energies around us. So we have to keep those other energies pure and positive. Like you said, calling you, and you'll get them in contact with other resources. You get them in contact with therapy. Just like someone going through a substance abuse crisis. They constantly need their meetings, their AA meetings. And as sad as it sounds, you're not alone. Connect with those same people that are healing like you. Mm-hmm. Now, the main thing about the body is, just like when you break an ankle, your ankle won't move. It hurts so much. excuse me, it hurts so much to move it because your body put it in a natural cast. We're not going to move this until we're healed. And that's kind of how grieving works. You know, your body puts you into a grieving mode until you come to your purpose, until you come and you made peace with it. And then your body will release you to your purpose. So it's all about going inside and doing the things that we mentioned above, because everything goes hand in hand. You know, your eating, your thought process, the people around you, your communication, what you tell yourself. If you watch the news and then you ride to work and that's all you think about is that news, you become that. And I've heard the news in Philly about all the homicides and the deaths. That's some sad stuff to really focused on while you're going to make a great day for yourself. You know, so it's changing your surroundings, changing what you eat, changing how you think, and the people that you discuss things with.
That's true. And it is very heartbreaking sometimes when you see the mom or the dad or family member that just cannot move on, which no judgment, a piece of their heart is gone, a piece of their life is gone. So what you're speaking about, I know takes practice, because not everybody can move forward and find that place of peace or even find healing. And my heart goes out to those family members. And one of my project outreach advocate, Shamika Moore, I think she is Shamika Smith. I think she is so dynamic. Her 16-year-old son was murdered, and I was with her every step of the way. And it just so happens that I received some funding and I was able to hire her as a part-time advocate. But to see her functioning, and I mean, she's advocating for mothers, for fathers who have lost their child to gun violence. And she actually goes to court. So she's going into the courtroom where she had to go in and actually watch the video of her son being murdered. That's strength. But she has her bad days. Now, she's been with me. She'll probably be with me for almost about 2 years. But at this time, Consir, she's like, I can't do this no more. You know what I mean? So it's too much for her. So I guess I wonder, my question is, can you reach that place of peace and then revert back?
Well, the body has a response when it's traumatized. It's either fight, flight, or just pause, just stand
Right.
still. So it depends on what stage she is in her grieving. And of course, the body is very resilient. It can bounce back. Just like that broken ankle, it will bounce back. And the care and energy and the time you put into it, it can make it stronger when it does bounce back. So what we can do as professionals, and I like to say I admire and deeply respect the work that you do, because it's hard work that you do it day in and day out. So my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, you know, when once you recognize the stage of grieving that they're in, that's how you can reach them. And you reach them with the intent that you're going to bounce back stronger and harder than you did before. Everyone has down days, whether they're victims or not. You're going to have your down days when you feel less than 100%. But it's those constant reminders. And for the people that don't have you constantly around them, they can write notes to themselves. The times that they're feeling good, they're feeling great. Why are they feeling great? What made them feel great? Write it down. So the times that they're not feeling so great, maybe they can repeat that same cycle. You know, it's giving triggers to yourself.
And I understand that. My oldest baby, and I said this a few episodes ago, my oldest baby was bullied. And I didn't know to the extent or the severity of it. But by the time he got to high school, when he was in 12th grade, I mean, my baby was broken. You hear me? And it just seemed like it hurt him to smile. So for me, I said, okay, he's broken mentally. So what I did was I put scripture all around his room. I altered my work schedule so that way I could be with him all the time, that I could talk to him all the time. But I wanted this to become second nature for him, and for him to regroup mentally, and for him to look at the world differently, because he didn't trust anybody. So, but by what I did, it did help my son regroup, and he saw the beauty in life and just not the negative side of it.
Right. Yeah, as professionals, I mean, that's great what you did. You were right on point, and you came to a sort of wellness for your son, and that's what we do as professionals. We take what they do, and we expound on that. We build on that. So it's not us putting something into them. It's taken out of them, which is the best parts of them. So that was excellent. You did that.
That's thank you. So do you work more with children and adults, or it's equal for both?
I work with the children during the day and adults at night.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So it's a mix.
Which one is the easier group?
I would say
the children.
No, well, I would say well, to all your listeners, it's pretty much the same techniques on both the adults and the children, because when adult is in a traumatized state, it normally happened in their childhood. So you use the child techniques to get them back to that state of wellness. And then when you have a child that's basically unformed, a clean slate, you're basically using those same principles and techniques.
That's important. You said that, because I know there's a lot of adults who are dealing with untreated traumas from their childhood. And then there's oftentimes we wonder why they did what they did. And that's because of a deep-rooted traumatic experience.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times when you have just say like the George Floyd incident, that was just broadcast on TV over and over and over. So someone that wasn't traumatized, you can begin to get traumatized from it. And trauma almost takes you to a childlike state because you feel hopeless. You feel confused.
And I mean, I know media and TV can be good at times, but a lot of the times it's so much negativity. So sometimes I just have to turn it off because I can't deal with it mentally, especially with the line of work that I'm in. It's a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, it's good to be in the know, but you have to know when to cut it off, when to put your body back in balance. Because if you watch an hour of the news, you got to take in an hour of something positive just to keep it balanced.
Yeah, and I watch cartoons at night. I love cartoons because that's what helps me like unwind. I just need something so silly. Consir, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, first, I like to say the cartoons, I'm a big fan of anime, but I like nature, watching the different animals, how they go about their life, and they have just one mention: eating and procreating, that and staying alive. That's their only. So if we're stressed, just imagine what they're going through, but they cope, they deal, because it's all God given. They stay connected to their source, so they don't have to think about it. They just be.
And I like the animal show too, but when I see that lion come down on that deer, I'm like, oh my God, like, no, don't do that. And my husband's like,
yeah,
you eat a piece of chicken, aren't you? I'm like, that's beside the point, babe. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about this big lion on this poor little defenseless deer. But anyway, so that stresses me out a little bit.
Right. But then you have to understand that lion has cubs at the den that she fight for. And the deer that they're taking out, nature has a natural culling process. They take out the weak, the elderly, the sick. I mean, in the human forms, it may sound terrible, but they're culling the herd. They're making the herd stronger and better and faster. And they're made for the lions. I mean, they already know that. They live their existence knowing that they're going to be meat sometime. They about to be dinner.
Yes.
Yeah. So you learn to run fast.
That's so true. That's true. So tell the viewers how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, I can be reached on email, consir45@icloud.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram under my name, Consir Thot, and Heal Thyself on Instagram. And I also do Zoom consultations. And I'm currently, in my program in childhood obesity. So definitely, if you, hear this broadcast, definitely look me up.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, my brother,
Thank you.
and dropping some knowledge. It's always a pleasure. You take care and peace and blessings.
Thank you. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you for joining me. And I hope we provided you with a glimmer of expectation on how you can make it through the days ahead. Know you are not alone. Find someone that you can lean on for support, for love, and get plenty of air hugs and kisses. Peace and blessings in the new year.